Hello, and welcome to 7 Days of Halloween. Hi everyone, it's Monica, and welcome back to Taylor-Made-Cards-for-you. Well, my plan today was to go ahead and put together a card using the new Colorize die sets from Sizzix, which is part of the new Tim Holtz Halloween collection. And as I started to put my little characters together, I decided to actually go a little bit of a different direction in this video. I wanted to just talk about the Colorize sets in general and let you know how I feel about them. And then, of course, we will put together a project in the end. Now, I've bought these Thinlit Colorize sets every year. I've bought the Christmas ones, I've bought the Halloween ones. I don't necessarily buy all of them, but I buy the ones that I think are the cutest. And this year I told myself I wasn't going to do it. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not because I don't love them, because how can you not love these little characters? They're so cute. But they're not the easiest dies to put together. And when I say that, you know, one of the things that I do when I'm crafting is it's an outlet for me. It's something to release stress. And sometimes I get stressed out when I'm making these. I mean, look at these, you guys. They are so detailed. They come with lots of pieces. You have to have color coordination. You have to have a special type of glue. You have to have a poker. And some of these pieces are small. I mean, look at this little nose here. It's crazy. But Joann's had a sale this year, and they had 50% off of all of their dies. So I just jumped in and I did it. Now, I wasn't sure if I would regret this purchase, and ultimately I don't think I did because I got a good price for it. But these Thinlits, these very intricate colorized dies aren't that cheap if you don't get them on sale. So you really have to think about this purchase. Now, if you don't have great eyes, if you are an older crafter, and I'm just going to say it because I'm an older crafter too, this might not be for you. The pieces are very small. Sometimes you can't even figure out what pieces go together. One of the things that I found this year is that Sizzix did actually start labeling the dies. If you remember, one of the first Colorize dies was the Santa, which was a few years ago, and it wasn't labeled. It didn't have color coordination, and it was really kind of difficult. A lot of people struggled with putting the Santa together. I did a video on it. I kind of persevered and I went through it, but it wasn't that easy. But what they're doing this year, and hopefully ongoing, which I think is a great idea, is hopefully you can see this, is it tells you what the color is, and then it tells you what the die goes to. So if you have a set that has 3 characters like this one does here, you can kind of, you know, separate your dies into what character it goes with. And then you can also separate them in the color coordination. Now, what I would recommend if you do decide to go down this road is you are going to need some tools. Number 1, you are going to need a paper pad that has, or paper in itself, that has multiple shades. Something like this, where you can get, you know, different shades of different colors, because there's shading involved. And if you don't have the right paper, I'm going to say it, it's not going to come out great. You have to have paper that coordinates. That's the first thing. So when you do buy these dies, make sure you take into consideration your color coordination and your paper. Number 2, you need a poker. I'm just going to say it. You need to have a poker, because in order to get this out, you have to be able to poke through these holes. You have to be able to dig under. And not only that, this kind of works as a pickup. You know, on some of those small pieces, I would put a little glue at the end, and that's how I would pick up some of my pieces to be able to place it. So you have to have a poker. This is recommended because, again, some of the pieces are very small. You want to be able to hold your pieces if you need to. So this is nice. You don't have to have it, but it's nice. And then you have to have some sort of precision glue pen because, again, these pieces are small. Now, like I said in one of my other videos, or in a video to come, I didn't check all of my product before I started, and my glue pen was dried out. Not only that, when I went to make my background on one of my projects, my paint was dried out. I was going to make a nice little background using some of my rust and my patinas, and when I open them up, it's dried out. Now, this is nothing against the manufacturers, because they tell us you have to use your product because it's not going to last on the shelf forever. So this is on me. But what I am going to say is, if you're going to invest in your product, use your product. Don't do as I did and let it sit on your shelf and get hard where you're just going to end up in the trash can, because this is where these are going. Now, the third thing I would say is have fun with it. If you're going to commit and if you're going to buy these dies, don't stress yourself out over them. My plan was to make all 3 of them. I made 2 of them last night, just with the intention. I sat down and I started crafting just with the intention of putting these together. I wasn't going to put together a project. I had to get up and walk away a few times. I'm going to tell you, it can be a little frustrating. But in the end, they came out so cute. Now, once I dove in and once I committed to making these, and once I had them made, I didn't want to use them. And what's the point of making these if you're not going to use them, right? I didn't want to, my idea was to do like a Monsters Inc. I even cut out all my little labels. I had like neon and, I had this whole plan. But in the end, I didn't want to put 3 monsters on one card. It took me so much time and so much effort to put these together. To put it on one card, I just couldn't do it. I'm sorry, I just couldn't do it. So I decided to go ahead and put together little tags. Little tags are big enough where I can put a little character, create a little scene, but if I make 3 monsters, I'll get 3 tags. And at least I feel like I've got 3 projects and not just one card. Now, not to say these wouldn't be adorable on cards. Do what makes you happy. It took me so much time and effort to put these together, you guys. I didn't want to put them on one card. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to put together little Halloween tags, which you can use as starters. You can give to somebody. They can be little gifts. You can put a little pocket, put a little gift tag in the other side. But this way I at least get 3 different projects. Now, of course, you can make 3 cards as well. But since some of my paint is dried out and my idea, which was kind of a cute idea, if I do say so myself, kind of isn't going to work because my dyes have dried out, or I should say my paint has dried out. We're going to go ahead and make some tags. So hopefully this has been a good public announcement, and hopefully it gives you some ideas of the dyes, because it is a little bit of an investment. But in the end, it's just about having fun, right? So if you get joy out of these, which I do, I said I wasn't going to do it this year, and I did. But I think they're so cute. They're a lot of fun. I think what I need to start doing is making these in January. So maybe make a couple of months, get them all put together. So that way, when it is time to craft for our Halloween, they're already made. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our project, and I'll get off my soapbox here and we'll create something. All right, so the tag I'm going to use here is from the paper set that came out maybe last year. I can't remember. I think it was last year. And it's one of the Halloween sets, and it has some great backgrounds. And I went ahead and I decided to go ahead and use one of my very old dies. It's a Sizzix die, and I don't even know where I got it. I probably got it in a thrift shop. But it's one of my favorite dies because it makes these really nice big tags. Now, when I do these, and you can do it with any type of tag, I get double-sided tape, and I just put it on like an old cereal box or something that has nice thick cardboard. And then when I peel it off, you have some tape here that you can put your paper on. And then with these really, big dies, it will go through with no problem. And that way you don't have to worry about cutting. If you have a scallop, you don't have to worry about the edges being really nice. It will be done for you. So now that I have my tag, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of distress ink on the outside. And this is my go-to. This is my walnut stain. I have ink already on it. I don't need a lot because I'm just looking to add a little bit of color to the edges. So that's what we're going to do here. Now, a lot of times when I'm making these dies, I like to use vintage items. I've used these die, or I should say these reels, in the past. And these are old warped ones that my husband gives me, and I use them for crafting. And I do things like this. These are some of my holiday tags I've been making. They're really cute in the background. But what I decided to do for this one is to have more of a Halloween background. So the dies that I decided to use is this Elizabeth Craft dies. And I'm just going to use the fence, and I may use the ravens. I haven't decided yet. So here is my die all cut out already. And I'm just going to go ahead and add it to my card, or my tag, and create a little scene. Now, before you start gluing things down, kind of place your items so you have an idea of what you're going to do. I haven't decided, let's see here, if I should use my, I think I'm going to use the monster. So I'm going to go ahead and, look at this, it's so detailed. He's even got the stitches. It's just crazy. I'm going to go ahead and use my monster. And then I've already picked out a couple of ephemera pieces from Tim's release this year. So I'm going to go ahead and add those there. And to cover up the hole, if you wanted to put a tie through, you could do that. But I'm going to cover this up, and then I'm going to use a clip to go on mine. And this is what I mean about the clip. I just like the way that it looks, so that's what I'm going to end up doing. So let's go ahead, and now that we have an idea of what the layout's going to be, let's go ahead and start putting things down. So I'm using my 3-in-1 beacon because my Smooth Precision pen is out of glue, so it's going into the trash as well. I can't believe that so much of my product is ending up in the trash, and it's my own fault. I've been so preoccupied this year. Honestly, I haven't been doing a lot of crafting, and it's something that I miss. So I think that's something that's going to have to change next year, because, you know, I started to get out my product. I started to play with it, you know, putting together my series, and a lot of my product was dried out. And there's nothing more frustrating than investing your money, you know, in things you love, and then not using them, and then having to throw them out. So that's going to have to change. If, you know, if I'm not going to be doing my mixed media like I used to, and, you know, your interests change, I get it, I'm not going to invest in it anymore. So I'm really going to have to think about that. A lot of my crafting has gotten more into the paper crafting, piecing, ephemera pieces, and things like that. So while I love doing mixed media, if I'm not going to commit to it like I did before, I'm just not going to buy it anymore, because I don't have the extra money to be tossing it into the trash. It's just such a waste. So hopefully you've learned from my bad example. All right, so I went ahead and I glued down my gate, and now I'm going to go ahead and just trim it off. And let's see if we can add a little bit more glue here. Now, like I said, you can do this with any type of a die. You know, maybe you want to, maybe have an oversized tag like I did here, maybe a different type of a design. But this will certainly work with any type of your dies. All right, now I think I'm going to pop him up. So let's see if I can find my foam tape. Okay, so I found these little dots, which will work just fine, and this little poker is going to be great. I'm just going to put some of my foam dots here to pop this little fella up. I really need to take inventory of what I have. Typically I like to use the strips, but actually these foam dots are working great because this character is so small. But, you know, like I said, going through some of my product and finding that it was dried up, or I just didn't have it when I sat down to do my video, and you really need to take stock of what I have. So that will be something I'm going to do probably after Christmas, because it's starting to get really busy for me. You guys know that I have my shop, and the holiday, you know, the last 3 months of the year are very busy for me. So I'm going to have to probably do it after Christmas. And that's going to be on my to-do list. Even though I run my shop, I'm still a crafter at heart. That's what kind of got me into creating and having my shop, is I wanted to be able to create what I use. So, you know, I don't want to lose my crafting because I still really enjoy it. And I do like making my YouTube videos. I'm kind of kicking around the idea of doing some YouTube lives next year. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. Do you think that's a good idea? Is that something you would like to see, having some YouTube lives? And then maybe we can craft together. So let me know what you think about that idea in the comments. All right, so before I add my glue, I'm just gonna add a little bit of walnut stain around it, and it doesn't take much. You might not even see it, but it is edging up the sides of my pieces of ephemera. Now these pieces, again, this is something that Tim Holtz came out with this year, and they're smaller pieces, which is what I like because I like working with smalls. So they've been great for some of my tags that I've been creating this year. But it is always nice to have bigger pieces as well. And he has a big enough collection now where you can pretty much find the size that you want. All right, so, and these are just to create a little bit of interest. And then I'm gonna also put this here, because like I said, I want to cover up that hole so I can have my little friend, my little round circle. All right, so this is, like I said, this is a very easy tag I'm putting together. You can certainly put together a card using these little characters, but I decided to go ahead and create some tags. And hopefully I'll take a minute to make the Frankenstein as well, because he is very cute. Like I said, I had to get my videos done. I still have a couple of videos I need to put together for my series that starts next week. So I needed to go ahead and just kind of put my video together. All right, so I have a couple of ravens that I think I want to use. I haven't decided yet. Maybe, right? What do you think? It might be kind of cool. But before I do that, I knew I wanted to use, there's a street name here, Essex Street, 54 Essex Street. And I thought, oh, that would be perfect to put on the fence. So let's do that first. Hopefully my little monster's not going to cover. Oh yeah, that's perfect. All right, so let's lift up his ear a bit. There we go. Oh, that fits perfect, you guys. Okay. What's nice about those little snippet stickers is some of them are bigger than others, so you can really find what you need. Nice. All right. Oh, I love it. Okay, so should I pop up my raven? No, I think he probably needs to be on the fence there. All right. So I'm gonna finish up this tag here, and then if I have a chance before I publish the video, maybe I'll put together a second tag. We'll see. But let's get that. And then now I can add my little clip. All right, and that's it. So so adorable, right? I mean, these little characters are so cute. But I really, you know, just knowing, I'm a pretty strong crafter. I've been crafting for many, many years. And I figured if I could get frustrated putting these together, even though I love them, I wanted to go ahead and just take a moment to talk to you about them. Because like I said, they are a big investment. And think about the investment. You know, don't buy them and have them sit in your drawer. I still use my Colorize, but I have to be in the right mindset to put them together, because they can be a little frustrating, and they're not easy. Maybe they're easy for you, I don't know, but they're not easy for me. So hopefully this has helped you and it's given you also an idea. And as always, I'll leave a list of all the products that I've used to create these along with the links to the stores. And if you've enjoyed my video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And don't forget, let me know what you think about me doing some YouTube lives next year. I'm kind of kicking around the idea. If I decide to do it, I am going to have my husband get me a nice little video cam for Christmas maybe, if I decide to go that route. But that's just something I'm thinking about, and I just wanted to get your idea. All right, everybody, thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll see you again next time. Have a great day.